I'm joined this week by one of my softball friends from way back in the day. She is known as Kelsey Hunter today, but as I knew her, it was Kelsey Stewart. She's a badass on the softball field and plays for the Athletes Unlimited Softball League now, but she's an Olympian, has played on Team USA and the University of Florida. So just an insane athlete all around, but also a great person. Kelsey, thanks for joining me.
Of course, thanks for having me. I love following your life all on social media. It's been fun.
It feels very weird for me now to see both of us in this stage of our lives. And I joked, it's funny, we're connecting back on Zoom, but once upon a time we were sitting on a bus together and making all kinds of racket headed to softball
Yeah,
tournaments every weekend.
crazy. No, like actually crazy when you sit back and think about it.
It really is. And now not only are you just an athlete, but you're also a mom and doing just all kinds of amazing things. So I do want them to hear your story in your words. So give us your kind of life as not only just a mom, but a softball player, the whole thing.
Yeah, so I started playing softball probably when I was about 8 years old. And really what happened was there was like a 10 and under team and they needed an extra player. My parents were like, she has nothing else to do. So like, sure, let's go do it. So grew up in Ark City, Kansas or Arkansas City, Kansas. My senior year moved to Mays, played travel ball forever. Like when I was 13, I started playing 18 gold, which is like insane. Um,
And that was
moved
actually where Kelsey and I became really good friends. We both played on the same travel ball team together, and we both went up to play on this 18 gold team together. And we're both
Yeah,
young.
very young, crazy. And then I committed to Florida the summer of my freshman year going into high school. Freaking again, crazy. I got recruited actually. I was in a tournament in New York and I had trip and fell. I bunted, trip and fell, and I was still safe at first. So then Coach Walton's like, yeah, like she's good. So kind of how that happened. And then went to Florida, won two national championships, had the time of my freaking life. I started playing Team USA the summer after my freshman year of college, and then had been on Team USA all the way to the Olympics. Obviously, COVID happened, so it got postponed a year. Then I've also been playing pro, and now there's this new pro league called Athletes Unlimited. Super excited to be involved and kind of be a pioneer of that as well. Have two kids, husband. Um, Honestly, like I have no complaints in life, and like all glory to God for all of that.
You have always been on the track of athlete. Since I've known you, that was always your path, and you really never wavered in that. Why do you think that was such a path, and how did you know it so early?
Honestly, like I don't really know. Like I was just good at sports. Like it was just something that like it came easy to me. It's something that I enjoyed. It wasn't like a headache to get me to like go do extra things. So I was just kind of like, hey, like you're kind of good at this. So I just like stayed on that path. And then obviously with the help of my parents, like not allowing me to be distracted from outside things. And really then it was just like, wow, I really love doing this. And so I just kept going.
And after you had done Team USA, at one point were you like, Nothing can top this? What am I gonna do next?"
Yeah, like especially whenever it first happened, like whenever I was on the first couple teams, we weren't in the Olympics. So I'm like, no, like I have reached like the top. I've won a national championship. I played on Team USA. Like, what is next? I didn't even know there was a pro league. So it like again, it's like what is next? Like what do I do after this? So definitely happened, still happens, but it's fun.
So far for you, what is your Mount Rushmore of your biggest moments in your life so far?
Obviously having kids, getting married, hitting the walk off for Japan. And then I would say going to the Olympics and then winning national championship.
So many good things. Like truly you have the Mount Rushmore.
No, like actually, like I seriously when I think back, I'm like I have been so blessed. Like God did not skip out whatsoever whenever I was going through my journey. Like I feel like I've hit every pinnacle like you can hit. Like been super blessed to be able to have kids, to be able to raise my kids, to be able to all of these things. I'm like, no, like I am living a great life.
What was it like for you? We see on social media kind of the juxtaposition between men's athletics, women's athletics. what was it like for you in this entire journey? Was there moments where you're like, yeah, this is true, and moments where it wasn't? Or give me the breakdown of that from your experience.
Oh yeah, it's all freaking true. Like it is a struggle being a woman in sports. I feel like there's just like this weird thing where like as women we're supposed to be so grateful. Oh my God, they gave us the opportunity. Like, wow, we should be grateful, but like why can we not demand more at the same time? Like there was times like on Team USA especially, like I was not being paid to play softball. Like it was just like a, oh yeah, like I want to do it, I want to play for my country, like let's do it. There was times that I was like grinding to pay rent because like I was trying to be a softball player. I was trying to be professional. And like in that sport, like you don't make a lot of money. Like I think minimum is like $8,000. And it's
Oh
like,
my
how are you
gosh.
supposed, yeah, like how are you supposed to live? And like even with like this Athletes Unlimited, like it's a great thing. And I think it's going to be a great thing. But like the gap between who's getting paid the most and who's getting paid the least, like there's just, so like that's what we're like what I'm trying to push for is just like one to kind of merge that gap between women's sports. But then like we would hope one day, like I hope when if I have a little girl that she's not struggling to pay rent to play pro sport. Like she can play a pro sport, do what she loves, but also like enjoy life. And I feel like there's few like it's like women's soccer, women's basketball, and then after that it's kind of like falls off. And so we have to
Mhm.
like, I feel like we, especially in softball, we kind of have to find a way to like merge that gap. But merge the gap between men and women would be unbelievable.
That is a crazy experience to think this is the coolest moment of my life. I'm on Team USA, I'm playing in the Olympics, but also I can't pay my rent.
No, it's like actually crazy. Like I don't think that people like really have the concept of like what happened. So I played on Team USA for 9 years. And so in that time, I would say from USA, I was paid $20,000 max to
That
play
so
nine
you were
years.
working other jobs while you were full-time trying to be an athlete.
Yeah, still am.
So you have a full-time job now and you're playing in this professional league.
Yeah, I don't have a choice. Like we like literally don't have a choice. And like it'd be so nice to like just be able to focus, like train and do all of those things, be a mom, and then like go play softball. But like I cannot afford that whatsoever. Even like with my husband. So like
Yeah, so how do you do it, right? You have to be in this shape all the time to play. You are a mom. You have to have a job. You're a wife. Like, how are you balancing all of these things and still keeping your sanity at the same time?
no, I tell people all of the time, like it takes a village. So like my mom, my dad, my brother, my grandma, my husband, like every single person you can think of, like is it's like all hands on. Like everyone, it's like we have schedules. It's like, oh, my mom works today. Okay, she's out of the picture. My sister doesn't work today. Okay, she has the kids. My husband doesn't work today. Okay, he has the kids. And um, something that I've learned like super early on. I have two kids. They are 11 months and 2 years old. So something that I learned very early on is like I will not allow myself to be put in spaces that my family's not allowed. So that kind of like nixed a lot of things. It's like, oh, my kids can't come. Oh, I can't come. Like you have to provide this space. Like I'm a working mom, but I will also be a present mom. And so like you are not going to like you want me to do a thing. Okay, can you fly my kids out with me? Because like that's the only way this works. And
Mhm.
so it's been definitely hard. And I think like just like talking to my friends, like they're like, you make it look really easy. I probably should be more transparent about how freaking hard it is of just like having a kid, losing your body. Like I had two C-sections, so they like cut through layers of my body. And then like I played 4 months later, like I was tripping a little bit when I look back. I'm like, you're crazy. But it takes a village for sure. Even like when I'm on the road with the girls, like they're helping me, like, oh yeah, we'll take Trace, and then he comes back with like 10 stuffed animals. I'm like, what is going on? So like it literally takes everyone.
I love that. I love that you say that they created this space for you and that's why you've been able to continue doing it.
Hmm.
Detail that experience for me a little bit because I haven't been pregnant before. I know so many women have though, but to have two children and then asked to be this professional athlete that can do these things, how was that experience for you? Were you in this safe space to be able to do that? Were there moments where you're like, there's no way that I continue this path?
Yeah, they're so Athletes Unlimited, like their whole goal as so they have basketball, volleyball, and softball. And so the whole thing was like you should be able to have a family, start that family, and then be able to continue to play softball. So I kind of took that to heart. I got pregnant, but then I was the first person to ever get pregnant in this system. So they're like, okay, cool, we'll see you next year. And I'm like, no, no, like I was expecting this money from you. Like,
Yeah.
respectfully, like I was expecting to have this income. I was having a baby like right in the middle of season, so I couldn't like fly out there. I couldn't do all these things. So like it's been really cool that I've been someone that's kind of helped them through this process of how we can make it better and do all of these things. Um Definitely lots of moments where I'm like, is this worth it? Like, especially in those like newborn stages, my child's screaming. I'm up like all night, and then I'm like, okay, like I gotta go work out. Like, there's nothing in me that wants to work out. Like, I'd rather just sleep. But again, Athletes Unlimited has been truly great. They provide a nanny for me. They pay child nanny, whatever that is called. Childcare. There you go. The childcare for them. They like get an extra room, like whatever I need. They're like super great about it. This year will be the first year that we're going to be like traveling everywhere. So I'm interested to see how this is going to go. It's probably going to be working through it again. But like I think it's good because it's not just me anymore. There's another girl just had a baby. So I'm like really excited, but um training and getting this is the first year that I've actually had like a year to like train and get back into shape. So I'm super excited to see where like I am this year. Like I'm like pumped. I'm like, wow, this is the first time I've hit and like worked out in February. Like, let's freaking go.
Do you feel like maybe having babies was your superpower and now you're going to even be a better athlete?
I claim it in the name of Jesus right there.
I'm going to believe it for you. I'm also
Yeah,
going to
thank
claim it
you.
for you. I love your perspective of just sharing the realness of this experience because it is. And I never want to make somebody, especially a woman's athlete, talk just about being the fact that she's a woman and an athlete. But there's just such a drastic comparison of what happens for you versus what's happening for a man. And the toll this is taking on your body, but you love the sport so much that you still choose to keep doing it. Where like that passion, talk to me about that passion for softball because it has to be a drive behind so much of this.
Yeah, I so you talk about like women and you don't want that to be it, but like it does take a toll. Like even now, like we got tiered this year of like there's like tier 5 to tier 1, whatever that is. And I've had a baby or been pregnant the past 2 years. So like as much as you don't want that to like affect where you're like placed and what happens, like it does affect. And like I can't be mad about that, but like at the same time, I'm like, how unfair is that? Um, but I everyone always tells me like you'll know when it's time to retire. Like you like everything will just you'll know. And like I haven't had that feeling yet. Like it's been one of those things where I'm like, oh, softball's on. Like I have 5 games going still. And it's like, oh, that's something new. Like, let me go try that. And I'm out like trying something new to my swing or like playing catch with my husband, taking ground balls. Like those are things that like still bring me so much joy. And it's almost like too like a little like it's cool for my kids to see. Like I think that there's a stereotype that um kids always watch the dad be a professional and they watch them work and do all of these things. So it's really cool that my husband is one, so supportive, and two, that my 2 boys get to watch me in this professional environment and how I work and how I go about business. But then on the flip side of that, like get to make them ally in women's sports. So maybe one day, if they're making millions of dollars, it's like, yeah, like I'll support women's sports. Like that's what my mom did. I watched they work harder than we do, kind of thing. So it's been really cool.
Yes.
And like I love that side of it.
I was just gonna say I have to imagine your kids are watching you and they're already knowing the superhero that you are because you're their mom, but then on top of it, to watch you go out and crush hits on a field, they're like, I don't know a life any different than this. This is what
Yeah.
it is.
It's like crazy because like I would like go in and I could 30 minutes hitting and it'd be easy. Now Trace wants to go with me and it takes maybe an hour because he has to hit off the tee too. So like it's like really like I love it. I wouldn't change it for anything, but like it's awesome.
So, how do you balance this lifestyle and working and being successful in your career and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? You have so many things. How are you balancing it? I know you say it takes a village, but like when you look at your life and day to day, how do you make decisions? How are you trying to decide what's best for you and your family and your career?
I think like knowing what's a priority, and to me, like my boys and my husband are always going to reign supreme. So, um, that's my number one focus every single day. And then I kind of go from there. So it's like, oh, okay, like maybe today I can cram in all of my work. Like I have really great I work for a really great company, Target Sports, and they're like super great about me playing professional, me being a mom, me working and doing all these things. So like I work from home, which is like the best thing ever, and they're so supportive. And I have some great people in my corner with Jeremy Capo and Kenya Lanyard and all these people um, that really make it where it's like, can you do that? Like, is it okay? Like, do you have time for this kind of thing? And it's like, listen, like you are trusting me to do my job. So like, I'm going to make sure I do that job. So I kind of starts with my kids and then it's like, okay, well, I got to feed my family. And then it's like, what time I have left is like for softball, which my husband is like a workout freak. And so it's like easy for me to want to go work out because I'm like, he cannot look better than me. That's not how this works. So and then you kind of fit it in from there. And like I feel like those pieces of it, my family can kind of join in with me and do all those things. So
Yeah, and you're creating not just this environment for what you mentioned as their mom playing, but you're also creating a very healthy lifestyle for them of this work-life balance, one, and two, to always be working out. You just bring them along for the ride, and heck, they're going to be squatting before you know
oh
it.
my God. Yeah, right. Like they every time I go to the gym, my son's always like, I go work out and he'll like grab his bag and I'm like, this is fantastic. But he just goes to the swimming pool, but whatever, we'll talk about that at a later date. He's only two.
What do you hope to see as you continue and play in this professional field? What do you hope to see for women's sports change in the coming years, coming decades?
Yeah, I like, well, obviously the number one thing would be like women are playing for millions of dollars. Like that would be like the goal is just like, oh, like I can stay on this track of sports. And like sure there's commentating, there's women in sports that aren't playing sports. But I would love for that to be a thing. It's like, oh, if I work hard enough, like I can support my family while doing something I love. I can travel the world while doing something I love. So that would be the number one goal. But then I think to even expand on that, would there be like there's programs in place for women that get pregnant of like, oh, like here's a trainer that like works like they specialize in women that are pregnant. So you like don't get out of shape and it's like, oh, well, doctors that help you through these things because there are like things that happen in pregnancy that are out of your control and labor that happens, all these things out of your control. But it would be deeper. The support system would be deeper in that and it would go across the board of all women's sports but like that's like a whole different topic because then it's like now we like are fighting for parental leave or whenever we have kids in like normal life so like this is just like a small part of it but I do think that if we can expand that in the sports world it kind of trickles down like women like these women that are always on TV and people are always looking up to, they're demanding this, and then it's like the next woman's like, well, if they're demanding it, then frick, I am too. Like I'm worthy of that. And so I think just like the support gets deeper and it's more, it's not just women supporting women. We have males and we have dads and we have professional athletes. We have all of those things. So I would obviously say the $1 million, and then after that, the support, how deep it goes.
When you go out and you do these things like Team USA and you're in the Olympics, what was the most like drastic differences you were seeing competing as a woman versus competing as a man?
Yeah, like things like just flying commercial and they like this is the story I tell everyone because this was the first time that it like hit me because as a woman in sports, it's like just something that And you go with the flow. You do what you're told. You get on the commercial flight. It's at 6 a.m. You play at 7. Whatever that looks like we just did it. But my husband was my childcare person when I had my first son, and we get on a flight. His flight gets delayed for like we were on two separate flights. It like they messed up, but anyways, we were on two separate flights. So I get on the first one. We're in North Carolina. We drive from the airport. It's like 2.5 hours. Well, my husband's flight gets delayed like 3 or 4 hours. He lands, and then they get in traffic. So the instead of a 2 hour, it turns into like a 5 or 6 hour bus ride. And he's like, I'm like really confused. And I'm like, about what? He's like, first off, I'm delayed. What? And he's like, and second, where's the police escort? I said, I'm sorry, what? And he's like, I would never get on a bus without a police escort. Like, I'm confused. And you guys don't have like a chartered flight? Like, I'm what? This is women. I'm like, no, this is women's sports. Like, this is what we deal with all of the time. Like,
Oh.
yeah. And so like that just like put everything into perspective. And then he's like over here like telling his friends like this is bull crap that what they have to deal with. And so I think like they don't understand because they don't go through it. And so that's probably one of my favorite stories, but that is probably like night and day. Like I only got a charter flight when we made it to the biggest thing in college. Meanwhile, they could drive 2 hours to Gainesville and they're chartering for 30 minutes. And it's like, what do you mean you got all this money? Nope, didn't happen. And it's just like all like the
So,
differences are seriously night and day.
was your husband a college athlete too?
Oh
Did
yeah,
he?
sorry. He played football at Florida State.
Okay. And then
Yeah,
he
he
stopped after college?
yeah, he broke his neck. Yeah, so he actually
No.
played like in the Canadian Football League, CFL, and all of those things, but yeah, broke his neck. So
Wow. Well, I'm very glad he's still here and you
yeah,
guys got to meet and that whole thing happened. Life. But so he knows, he's seeing these
yeah,
differences and he experienced them in real time.
yeah, and he was like I would say too, like he won a national championship at Florida State, so like he was like the top 1% in college football. So like he knows what it's like to be spoiled and like not want like all he has to worry about is playing football. And
Hmm.
so like to like come out and then he's like, wait, how much do you get paid? And he's like asking me like, is it worth it? Like, and and I'm like, I have to like stay in this to help grow this game. Like, I want the next generation to benefit from what we're doing. And he's like, I mean, I guess. Like, it's like one of those things he's like, you could literally go work a couple camps and make what you're making playing. Like, is that worth it kind of thing? So, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, it's helpful too to have him have that experience too, because then it makes him an advocate for you too as
Yeah.
well. And to his friends who are, I imagine, were also either at once college athletes, could be professional now.
Yes.
And at least it's slowly growing as there are advocates for it. And I do think it's truly unfortunate that we're still here in 2025 and this is still the case.
No, it's so unfortunate. And the crazy part is we have made leaps and bounds, but like we're still here. And I tell everyone like something will happen. I'm like, same shit, different year. And like it's sad that I feel that way. Like I want to be like, no, this is so good. This is better. But like I have an expectation as a professional athlete, as a mom, and like I won't stop till that's met.
When somebody like Caitlin Clark comes into the picture, say that again. When someone like Caitlin Clark comes into the picture and she's all over social media, everybody's knowing her name, but she's becoming this household name. Does that feel helpful in that respect? What does it do for you guys as a whole with women's sports when something like that comes into play?
Yeah, I definitely think like all it does is help. All it does is help is you get eyes on women's sports. Like that can only help and it only trickles down to everything. I do think that you see more of that gap in pay. And again, I don't know Caitlin Clark. She could be taking a cut to make sure everyone else is getting money. I don't know what that looks like for her. But that would be the only negative side is that gap. But she deserves every single penny that she's getting, making I think she's a great advocate for women's sports. I think she does it the right way. I think she plays so gritty and so like in your face. And that's been such like a thing that's been so like you can't play like that. Like, and it's like, why? Like, this is fun to freaking watch. And she's gonna like shoot it from half court and let you know, turn around. Like, I love it. And someone like her who's doing it the right way and drawing all of those eyes, like, amazing. We need to do better in softball, like getting her to a game so more people will watch. But I think that it only does great things for women's sports.
I know you mentioned that grittiness of her, and of course she gets ruined online for saying mean things, for acting up, for, lack of a better term, not acting like a woman. But I think there is such a misconception of that. I mean, when we played even softball, when we were playing, we were mean. I mean, we got competitive because we were competitive. We wanted to win. What experiences have you had over the course of time where somebody's like, you're a woman, don't do it that way, or do it this way because this looks better?
Yeah. I think that that happens a lot. Like, when I was in college, we actually were not allowed to have social media for all 4 years, and it probably saved us a lot, at least me personally, because I'm like that fiery person. Like, I'll fire back. Like, I do not care. So I think like you get those people. I would lump myself in that. Like, I don't really care what you have to say. Um, you're going to keep turning on the TV to watch me. I bet money because you're going to see if I want to do it again next week. And so I think like you have those athletes that are so like, um, this is how I play. Like you either accept it or move on. And so now, but now it's getting to the point where like women's sports is all over. It's on ESPN, it's on ABC, it's on, they're like where it's constantly being televised. And so like you don't have a choice but to watch. And so I think to mold yourself into something that you can't be comfortable and you can't play your best because you're trying to mold into something that society tells you to be will never work. And so I think to have like that confidence and be who you are at all times, and then just know there's people behind you, regardless if that's one, because my one, then guess what? I have you now. So now there's two. It's me, Morgan. Now you got two people behind you. So I think that that is something that it's hard for younger athletes because we like social media was big when we were growing up, but it wasn't like it is today. And
Mm-mm.
so like I don't care to tap into social media to see what people are saying on me because guess what? I don't know you, dude. Like your Twitter fingers are going crazy and like yet you've never said hi to me. So like your
And
opinion
also probably never picked up a softball in his life.
right. Like exactly. And so like I'm like even like I'll get on social media like after a big softball game, like a Florida game, and people are talking crap and I'm like I dare you to go just like run a sprint, run a 6 a.m. with them. I'm not even play softball, just run a 6 a.m. with them and see what happens. So I think like it is harder because there's so much validation in social media for so many people. But I have a kid and husband, so like the other like one day I think I was like 0 for 3 with two strikeouts and my kid was like, "Good job, mommy." And I'm like, no feel, but it's fine. So like like it's like perspective for me. Like I do not care what other people think.
It definitely is. It definitely gives you this perspective because they know you did the best job you could do in that moment. And you're like, really? But they did, and they give you that perspective.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane.
Speaking of young athletes, I always like to end on a motivational thing, but I think something that would be really good to hear is any athletes that are coming up, that are currently in it, whatever it may be, and maybe you choose to go in the direction of women, just all athletes, however you want to do this, but what is something you would want young athletes to know today if you were to give them a piece of advice if they're on a similar journey to yours?
Yeah, the main thing I would probably say is like you are enough. Like you have all the tools. People are constantly going to have opinions. People are constantly going to talk about you. And I tell everyone if someone's not talking about you, then like you're doing something wrong. The more people are talking about you, like you said, look at Caitlin Clark. Like she is one of the best athletes in college basketball, and someone is constantly talking about her. So to me, she's doing something right. And so I think like you are enough. Stay on your path. Stay with what you know, keep your circle with people that are on the same route as you, and not people that are going to be jealous or drag you down because at the end they're not worth it whatsoever. Um, you're enough. Keep your circle small and keep the main thing at the end of the day. And if you need someone to talk to, you need someone to have your back, like I'm here. I'm available on Instagram, on Twitter, whatever you need. Like I'm here and I'll support you 100%.
I also want to do a kind of tailored piece of advice here to what is something that people, just the normal person that isn't even in the sports world, someone like me, I think I know some of the answers because I follow you on social media and I support you. But what are some things we can do to support women's sports more to hopefully one day be where you're wanting it to be?
Yeah, I think like the main thing is to show up. I think it's easy to sit back and watch it on the TV and do all these things, but like the more people that show up, the bigger it becomes. So I think you show up for those different women's sports and um, you on social media you can repost and like the more people that the more times you're reposting and sharing the more people it's getting to, but my main thing really is to show up and support people and shut those people down that have the nerve to say women aren't worthy or they can't do something. Like shut it down and just post a video of some woman doing something so badass that you can't help it. But showing up is probably number one.
That was one of my favorite trends over the past year where it was all these women who are like, this man asked me what I did or tried to mansplain something to me, and then they just come back with the whole gamut of things that they've
Right.
done.
Like mansplaining is like the worst. Like stop doing that.
Yes, exactly.
Stop
Well,
doing
Kelsey, thank you for being here. I'm so proud of you and your success and your drive and your passion for what you've always done. You've always been this way. You are the same person that I sat on the back of a very mini bus with where we caused a whole lot of trouble. And that's really cool, given everything that you've done and experienced in your life to be the same person is admirable. And congratulations on being just a badass, not only athlete, but also mother too.
Yeah, thanks. You're pretty badass too. And I love following your journey. And I'm super proud of you too. So thank you.
Oh, thanks.